Martial arts with aura. Okay, a lot of you guys have requested me ranking your favorite, or in some cases, martial arts that you've never even heard of. And I've been trying to figure out the best way to do it. I could be boring and I just rank all of them by how effective they are, and I'll be real with you, I might still do that throughout the video, telling you how effective and, in some cases, super overrated some of these martial arts are. And I'll let you know, there'll be some rants in here talking about some of the fraud martial arts throughout history. But I thought no better way to keep it in theme of this channel than ranking them by their aura. If you come up to me and say, oh yeah, I train martial arts, you have my attention because that's where my brain is, okay? That's where my expertise is. Look at these ears, dog. However, if you say, I train Aikido, I automatically know I'm better than you. Like, frankly, like, if you just tell me, oh yeah, I'm a master Aikido. Alright, cool. I ride a unicorn. That's another nothing burger statement. Oh, I'm really good at a fake martial art. Awesome. Do you have force fields too, buddy? That's how I feel about Aikido. No, that's not even the worst one I'm going to be talking about. We got everything. From John Wick's Gun Fu, collegiate level wrestling, Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do, and armored combat. Putting them into a tier list by how much aura I think they have, okay? That is the criteria. If you want to help support the channel, because they're like, comment, and subscribe. And this is actually a fan suggestion from the comment section down below. So if you have a video that you want me to do that isn't the race tier list, put it down below. If you want to comment race tier list, I mean, there's literally nothing I can do to stop you. I don't even get rid of comment section. I leave that up to the YouTube moderation team. So do what you want to do. It's free engagement. I do think it's funny. But, let's get into this. If you have a video that you want me to do, put it in the comment section. If you want to support the channel, please consider like, comment, and subscribe. 100,000 subscribers before the release of GTA 6, later end of July, which is my birthday. I think that would be amazing. I do believe that we're going to be able to do it. It actually says right now we have 98 days before we reach 100,000 subscribers. That's insane to me at this current rate. I'm not going to hold my breath. Thank you for the support that you give this channel. It honestly means the most to me. I'm just a dude that talks about stuff that he finds interesting. And you guys seem to enjoy it and call me goated background noise. And that makes me feel good. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. The martial arts aura tier list. Boxing. Okay, let me tell you something about boxing, dog. Let me tell you something about boxing. Boxing is the simplest martial art with the highest skill ceiling, okay? If I had to put it in video game terms for you, it's like Counter-Strike. Could you play Counter-Strike just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna hop on a few games and have a little bit of fun? Yeah, you can do that with Counter-Strike, but when you get to the higher end of how good people get with Counter-Strike, where we're literally measuring the gravity physics of a concussion grenade? Oh yeah, nah, you ain't gonna beat that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy. When we're literally trying to figure out how smoke physics work in Counter-Strike, we're too far gone, okay? You're out of your depth. And that's how I feel about boxing. You could go into a boxing gym today and with 6 months, you could beat 80% of people. You wanna know why? Because the vast majority of people suck. I mean, are absolutely awful in any type of, physical altercation. I could say very, very confidently, 90% of living beings on this planet, I would beat in a physical altercation. Not because I'm amazing, but because everybody else sucks. I'm sorry. One of the biggest things that, like, we lie about as men is how good we are at driving, how good we are at basketball, and how good we are at fighting. I'm sorry. If you tell me, oh, when I see red, brother, I'm gonna shut up. Nah, blah. I'm pimp slapping. I'm gonna pimp slap you off the way, okay? This whole argument over like, but I'm 260, bro. That only applies to people that don't train. Yeah, if you're a gym bro, you're going to beat the tar out of 80 to 90% of people. But let me tell you something. You're in the top 10% of killers because of how much you can lift. This guy over here is in the top percent because he puts people unconscious for a living. Okay, like, let's just say that right now, okay? Humble all of y'all. Boxing, if I'm going to give you a martial art to train, and I don't have a lot of faith in your, how do I say this? Learning ability, I'm just gonna teach you boxing. Boxing is the simplest one to learn. Very, very, like, Footwork. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very simple. Very, very simple. Okay. I think anybody could become good at boxing. Very few could become great at boxing. It's that very simple. There's too many sweats in the boxing game. That is what professional boxing is. But I think it's a good hobby. For the inevitable hobby tier list that I will probably make, because now you guys are starting to understand how I pick out videos. Each video just alludes to another one, okay? It's all connected, gang. It all stems back to my first tier list, the Apocalypse tier list. It all comes together, gang. Here's the thing about boxing. If you tell me you train boxing, I will give you a, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I'm not putting them in maximum aura, though, because there's a lot of people that are mid that train boxing. I'll just say that right now. I think you're dangerous. Like, I think it ranges so heavily from, oh, your training boxing is your first weekend, or you're dangerous. I'm gonna put you in dangerous right here. I think that's valid, because you could be crazy in maximum aura, because I'm sorry, bro. I talk a lot of crap about boxing. There is nothing with more aura than a professional boxer making a walkout. So, that's crazy, bro. Like, Canelo Alvarez walking out to a boxing match against Triple G in maximum aura. Mike Tyson, aura. There's not much I can say to that. I'm gonna put it in dangerous. I think that's valid. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Let me tell you something about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of you guys talk a lot of crap about it, which is really ironic considering they would turn you into a human pretzel. Okay? I've trained quite a bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, okay? I think at this point I'm in like 2.5 years in, okay? Love it, okay? But I will agree with you. If I'm in a competition with somebody and they drop to their butt and start scooting towards me like an angry king crab, I am going to go out of my way to make this as painful as I possibly can for you. Why? Because this is disrespect. You disrespect me, brother. That's how I view it, my man. I hate pulling guard, dude. It is some of the weakest things I've ever seen, okay? Like, we have a little saying at our gym that if you pull guard and still lose, we don't even talk to you afterwards. We just let you walk to the bathroom alone and sad and sweaty. Okay? Another man dominated you for 5 minutes, okay? Yeah, I understand that sounds sus. There's no way of describing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and not having it sound sus. So we just embrace it, man. Yeah, another man held you down. You did nothing. You fought back a little bit, but he imposed his will upon you. Okay, we're gonna make it go that far. Okay, yeah, you suck. If you pull guard and get your ass beat, oh my gosh, I have no sympathy for you. From that point on, it is on sight. Okay, we're gonna rub this in afterwards. You want to get me down to the ground? Double leg me. Take me down. Okay, judo throw me. Hit me with that. Don't be pulling guard because it is the most optimal strategy. Shut the fuck up. I mean, I wish Combat Jiu-Jitsu could come back and just slapping contest the moment you do that. Don't ever do that again. Okay, there was a KO a few weeks ago. A man named Bryce Mitchell, okay, Kron Gracie. We'll talk about the Gracies. Oh yeah, let's talk on some Jiu-Jitsu lore because I have a little file in the back of my brain that it's filled with Gracie slander. Let me tell you something about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, dog. Okay? It started off, okay, first up, we'll talk about Judo. Judo was the martial art of the samurai. Guess what? Samurais were not these amazing swordsmen. They were bowmen. Oh my gosh, the amount of rewriting in history there is to account for that. Okay? And then they taught them Judo because they would throw people down and then sank them to death. That is what Judo was, okay? And then, there was this little Japanese man that went to Brazil, started fighting in the fucking circus, and this guy was beating up random people that are coming to a circus probably intoxicated as fuck, but he was 125 pounds. I forget what his name was. I think it was Yasuti, I think it was like Mezazuli or something. It was like a crazy Japanese name. This guy was the original Miyagi, dude. Original Miyagi. And the carnival owner was a guy named, I think his name was Joseph Gracie, okay? Oh yeah, the Gracies fought in the Civil War with the Confederates. Yes, Robert E. Lee knew an ancestor of Horace Gracie. That is a real thing that happened. And then after the Civil War, they went down to Brazil, and then they opened a carnival. And then the carnival had this guy who was a judo master. But then Joseph Gracie, I don't know if his name was Joseph, I think his name was Henron or something. He had a son that had a bone disease, and I think his name was Horion. Rorion Gracie. Also, they have really weird names and they're really into eugenics. Let me just say that right now. They learned how to do eugenics on children because they were horse breeders. Oh my goodness. No, the lore thickens. The lore thickens even more. No. It goes crazier than that. Okay? And then they take this little Japanese dude who's probably poor because he's fighting people in the circus. And then they go to him and are like, I want you to train my children in judo. And then they renamed it to Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because they're in Brazil. Japanese Jiu-Jitsu came before Brazil. And then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was headlined by the Gracies. And then the Gracies got involved in crime fam. Dude, Rickson Gracie wrote a book. This was the brother of Royce Gracie. Wrote a book called Breathe, where he just casually says, oh yeah, my brother was involved with crime and he got shot. And then our family just kind of just pretended he didn't exist. It was pretty sad. But you know, whatever. Battle for the family. And let me tell you, the Gracies were borderline thugs, dude. They were strolling up to the beats in Speedos and beating the dookie out of another Brazilian man in the favelas. They were Ritz boys, bro. They were oh yeah, back to the eugenics. You ever notice how older names have a huh to it? Rickson, Royce, Rorion, Renzo. You understand? Older names sound alike because they have picked out the most powerful letter, so R is super powerful. J is super powerful. No. R is powerful. I'm trying to remember what else was. Basically, if you look at any of their names, it is supposed to be a letter of power. They believe in that. Also, they believe in reincarnation, where they live the same life over and over again until they achieve perfection and go to nirvana. Oh my goodness, bro. There's so much crazy lore. But you ever notice that they never talk about a woman Gracie? Why? Because they are straight up eugenicsing better people. Every Gracie has two wives, okay? A little petite Brazilian woman and an Amazonian Gertrude woman. That's like 6'5", and that is the breeder. Yes, no joke. They have a wife, and then they have the breeder. That is what they do. That is how the Gracies achieved excellence in jiu-jitsu. And there's a lot more that happened after this with like the first UFC, but let me tell you something. Jiu-Jitsu started falling off when they started disrespecting wrestling. Yeah, you have to learn how to do a fucking takedown. You pull guard, weak. I'm putting Jiu-Jitsu in cool. Okay? Because you can be at maximum, but you gotta know how to wrestle, dog. You gotta have a little bit of a wrestling. Jiu-Jitsu will still destroy you. I would actually put Jiu-Jitsu it's not the best base, but you will not become good as a martial artist if you don't know jiu-jitsu. If you could be great at everything, if you don't know jiu-jitsu, you're mid. It's that simple. Cool. Kickboxing. Kickboxing is just a better form of boxing. Yes, I'll say it right now. There's this weird thing where boxers get really salty about that. Like, oh, well, actually, the footwork of boxers is better. And when you're a kickboxer, you're more placent. Okay, keep talking shit when I kick your leg so hard it goes dead leg. Okay? You have two arms. I got two arms and two cannons for legs, dog. Okay? Floyd Mayweather do a kickboxing match. Oh, well, Floyd Mayweather did a boxing match with this really good Japanese kickboxer. It was a boxing match, you absolute beetroot of a person. Okay? What are you talking about? You want to know why Floyd Mayweather never wanted to do any kickboxing match? Because he would get his shit kicked in. Okay, kickboxing is superior to boxing in literally every possible way aside from punching. You want to know why? Because that's your only thing. That is your only thing that you have, okay? These are your weapons. These are my weapons. I am burying you, okay? At that point, easily, dude. When I mean by I mean a kickboxer is gonna bury a boxer. No question. You guys are protected by a rule set. And boxers understand this because they don't go into kickboxing. They don't go into MMA because they realize that boxing is one of the worst bases for MMA ever. Okay? But in terms of here's the thing. Kickboxing, it's dangerous, bro. Here's the thing. If you're doing boxing, you could be doing boxing because you're a casual fan and you think boxing's the best. If you're training kickboxing, you've already gone down the martial arts rabbit hole. I know you're more dangerous. But not quite maximum. There's a little bit more. Aikido. Oh, I've been waiting for this. Let me tell you something, bro. Steven Seagal is one allegation away from becoming a cult leader. 100%. You cannot convince me that Steven Seagal is not almost to cult leader status, okay? This man made the most out of an absolute bullshit martial art, okay? Aikido is absolutely BS, okay? I would actually do this. If you go up to me, I made a whole tier just for Aikido alone, and you tell me, oh, what martial art do you train? And I tell you what I train. And then I say, oh, what do you train? And I say, oh, Aikido. And you don't say anything else, I will call you to your face a weak man. You are weak. You're like, what are you talking about? Aikido? That's the only thing that you do? You have any idea how much you have to go out of your way to train this bullshit martial art? Pathetic. Weak, dude. Your bloodline is weak as well, okay? Aikido? Really? For anybody who's confused, bro, Aikido just stole a few judo throws and said, look at what Aikido found. It's not superior in any way. It's weak. It's a pathetic martial art. If you want to learn how to take somebody down to the ground, learn wrestling. If you want to learn how to throw somebody, learn judo. If you want to learn how to fold somebody's clothes with them inside of them, judo. Yeah, you thought I was going to say Aikido? No, if you want to do literally everything worse, but you follow a fucking cult leader who exclusively marries in the Philippines, it makes really, really, really bad movies because he was in one good movie in his entire life. Train Aikido. Train Aikido at that point. Weak, pathetic, zero aura, negative aura. I actually think less of you as a man if you train Aikido unironically. Weak. Muay Thai. Ooh, let me tell you something about Muay Thai, brother. Okay? There's a few things that, let's say, some people don't like that I say this, but this is what I mean. Let's say this channel ever does become successful. Like, I think we're doing fairly well now, okay? Like, I'm not saying that we're going to. I enjoy doing this. 100%, if it does become successful, 100%, brother, I will do a Muay Thai fight for the channel, okay? I'm sorry, that would be one of the funniest and funnest ideas for a video. Just go fly over to Thailand and go train, do an 8-week-long training camp, film it as a documentary, and then I do a boxing match with some random dude in Thailand. Oh my gosh, that's hype. I have a lot of buddies that go over to Thailand. I have a few like MMA fighters that I train with that have trained in Bang Tao, that have trained in Tiger Muay Thai. Great dudes, great dude. Like, they all say it's a great facility. A lot of staph infections, a lot of parasites over there, bro. Actually, that might be a disqualifier because there's a lot. But let me tell you something. The difference between Muay Thai and kickboxing and boxing. Boxing, it's this simple. Boxing, you have 2 weapons. Kickboxing, I have 4 weapons. Muay Thai, I have my knees, I have my shins, I have my elbows, and I have my hands. It is the art. It is the art. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking out. I think, yeah, the art of 8 limbs. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I had to do that. No headbutts, no headbutts. Man, I'm losing. I still can't believe I had to count all that, man. Oh my, we're losing it right now. I need to get back to it, Ethan. Okay, when we're talking about Muay Thai, if you're training, nobody goes in the Muay Thai as their first martial art, okay? This is the equivalent of like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go get into some disturbing media. And then you go straight in the martyrs, okay? Like, no pregame, no foreplay, no lube, straight. Like, straight into the worst possible thing that you can imagine, okay? That is the equivalent of getting into Muay Thai as your first martial art. I would never tell any of you to get into Muay Thai as your first martial art. But if you survive, you are a savage. You are a monster. You walk into a room, you're the most dangerous man there, okay? It is the most effective striking art the world has ever seen, okay? It is the meta for MMA. This is the meta. Any type of striking is judged by the Muay Thai fighting style. They are the metric by which that striking is done, okay? Real talk, that is it. I'm putting Muay Thai maximum aura. If you train Muay Thai for a while, oh, you're him. You're him. Gun Fu. This one's admittedly kind of a joke, but this is actually becoming like a real competition thing. How effective are you with firearms? Like, there's a whole sporting part of it, okay? Not like competition shooting, okay? Like obstacle course shooting. It's gaining some traction, but like, watch a John Wick movie and tell me that does not look fun. Well, I don't mean fun in like people. No. I mean fun as like, man, This does look kind of dope. Martial arts with guns. I've also said John Wick has one of the best understanding. The John Wick movies. There is somebody that worked on the John Wick movies that legitimately understands how martial arts work. Why? Because John Wick. Oh, and it's because Keanu Reeves is a legitimate. I think he's a purple belt. I think he's either a blue belt or a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which means that you are at least proficient to achieving mastery. Okay? It's white, blue, purple, brown, black. That you have 5 belts. If you're at purple belt, you're more than halfway there. I know that doesn't make sense, but I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it later. Keanu Reeves legitimately understands how to strangle somebody. Okay? So Keanu Reeves understands it, so John Wick understands it. But bro also is shooting guns. Okay, like I'm sorry, it is hype. I love the John Wick movies. If you're like a legit, like really good with firearms, there's aura there. You're a dangerous human being. However, it is in that tactical category. I'm gonna put you in the middle of dangerous because it can range. But at the end of the day, brother, it doesn't matter how good you are at a martial art. It's 5 pounds of a trigger pull to end your life. Okay, like sorry, there's a reason that they're called the Great Equalizer. Okay. Like, I'm sorry, if you're a small, petite woman and you come to me and ask me, what martial arts should I train to defend myself against a 250-pound man? I don't mean to scare you. If a 250-pound man tried to take advantage of you, he just is. Like, he just will. Like, there's actually nothing you can really do to stop him. But, there we go. That's all you need. That's all you need. You get yourself a little carry permit. And you good. But I don't want to. You ain't beating them. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Either get strapped or get clapped. Like, that's a bad, that was kind of dicey. Get strapped or get clapped. That's really what you got to do. At that point, if you're a little petite, 120-pound woman, 5'2", there's not much I can do. Like, yeah, do some cardio kickboxing on the weekend. Good luck. Yeah, dangerous. Armored combat. Oh, we are doing. I'll do this. Whether it has to be through the channel or not, I will do an armored combat, and I'll just let you guys know how that went. Armored combat is just an MMA fight, but you have a weapon and a shield and in full medieval armor. Oh, okay. Let me tell you something. There 100% was some psyop level of conditioning that was taking place in my childhood that was trying to tell me that wearing a full suit of armor and fighting in the nearest park with the boys is lame. I'm sorry. If you're gonna look at a bunch of dudes wearing armor and fighting in the nearest park and say, oh, look how stupid that is, you don't have fun in life. What are you gonna do?
Well, actually, I'm a grown-up. I'm going to file my taxes.
This is why male depression is at an all-time high. You are the reason, okay? If you want to suit up in some armor and go fight with the boys in the nearest national park, go do it, bro. Like, I'm sorry, that looks fun. I want to do it. And I will do it one day. But armor's pretty expensive. That's all I gotta say. I know I say this a lot. That would be fun to put on the back wall, though. That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, armored combat. That's cool. If you say you do armored combat, that's automatically cool. That's pretty aura-filled, I would say. Wrestling. Let me tell you something. I know I say this for every single one, but this is where my expertise lies, okay? Wrestling. Okay. WWE has become a bastardization of what wrestling has become. And it's actually a really interesting thing. It comes from old-fashioned carnivals, and they would rig certain things to happen. Like certain wrestling moves would be used. And it slowly, throughout the decades, turned into Rey Mysterio's jumping off the ropes into that, like that dumb shit. And I'm sorry. I'm not gonna scold you for liking the WWE, but I've watched the UFC ever since I was 9 years old. You literally cannot get me to watch a WWE wrestling match without me cringing because I've already seen what real combat sports look like. I'm sorry. I'm not, like, you can't get me to become a fan when I've seen how the sausage is made, okay? You can't. You really can't. So when I look at collegiate level wrestling, let me tell you something. There's a saying that we have. if you're facing a collegiate level wrestler, it is not a matter of if they're going to get you down to the ground. It is a matter of when and what you're going to do once you get there. They are going to take you, they are going to have their way with you. I'm sorry if that sounds bad, but trust me, brother, if you've ever been slammed on your fucking neck, dude, by one of these people, oh my brother, good luck. Good luck surviving that, okay? One of the biggest ass whoopings I've ever been handed in my life was from MSU. Destroyed me. Beat me up. However, he did run away from leg locks. He didn't want that type of smoke, little man. Just kidding, not little man, he beat me up again. But listen, if you tell me you're a wrestler, here's the problem. So many people did wrestling in middle school and high school, and they still hang on to that there's a difference. If you say you're a wrestler, I'm just going to assume middle school, high school. If you say you're a collegiate level wrestler, oh my gosh, that's aura right there. I'm going to put it in dangerous. Dangerous up there. If you're a collegiate level wrestler, it's maximum already. But if you just say you wrestle, then it's very difficult. I'm going to put wrestling middle of dangerous. MMA. Okay, here's another one. Not a lot of people getting the MMA as their first one, okay? You know, like the metaphor that I used for getting into scary media with, like, no lube at all, no foreplay? That is getting into MMA as your first martial art. You at least gotta have a base, okay? You gotta come from wrestling, you gotta come from boxing, kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then you make your way into MMA. Going into MMA as your first thing, not a smart move. If you have no other options where you live, then fine. Not a smart move. Why? Because you are so behind on the meta. This is the equivalent of never playing a game of Fortnite and hopping straight into builds ranked Diamond 1. Good luck, buddy. You're still learning how to do the optimal aiming. Somebody just built a fucking cathedral in the sky. Good luck, little bro. You getting cooked. That is what I feel when people get into MMA as their first martial art. Maximum aura. I've met a few MMA fighters. I've trained with a few of them. Super cool dudes. Honestly, some of the coolest people that I've ever met. Maximum aura. No question. And they're like different people. They're like pit bull people. They are like, they know they can rip you to fucking shreds, but it's like a pit bull on CBD. They're like, yeah, man, how you doing? Like, a lot of them talk like that, too. Like, they have the, what's up, man? Yeah, man. Oh, you coming in the trading today? Oh, yeah. Like, they're chill. Like, they're chill dudes. Kind of like a pit bull on CBD. Like, they can kill you, but they're chill. But keep on giving them CBD. That's how I feel about it. Jeet Kune Do. It was the martial art that Bruce Lee started. And listen, there is no way that I can talk about martial arts and not bring up Bruce Lee. Now. There's going to be slight Bruce Lee slander here, okay? Bruce Lee, if you judged him by modern martial arts standards, is mid. He's mid. Like, yeah, Bruce Lee would get no-diffed by anybody in his weight class, okay? Real talk, that is what would happen. But you want to know why? Because Bruce Lee brought the acceptance of martial arts to the United States. Before Bruce Lee came in, you knew a guy who maybe knew how to throw a punch, okay? And Jeet Kune Do, to give it credit what it is, it was like the beginning of MMA, like the mixing of martial arts. Now, was he mixing it in the way that MMA kind of turned into, where it was, you had to be good at wrestling, a little bit of jiu-jitsu mixed in, your striking, if you're not good with kicks, then it should be boxing oriented, but throwing some leg kicks here and there, learn how to clinch and throw from judo, like where that MMA turned into how modern MMA is? No. But he did mix it up fairly well. And I'm going to put him, if you train Jeet Kune Do, I would say that's cool. That's cool. I put it in Jeet Kune Do. Bruce Lee's an S tier level aura though. So Bruce Lee, if I ever make historical aura part 3, whenever that'll happen, Bruce Lee will be in it. I promise. Karate! Ooh, okay. I got some venom to spit about karate, bro. Okay, hear me out. Okay. Whenever I hear a man talk about training karate, okay, and you are above the age of 18, you cooked, brother. You cooked, okay? Karate is a borderline of fake martial art. Yes, borderline fake. You want to know why? But this is what I mean by it, okay? Karate will use stuff from other martial arts. And then they'll look at boxing and then they'll be like, oh, look, they're using a karate stance. Not everything's fucking karate. Not everything is karate. Not every kick thrown in MMA is karate. But no, here's the part that they'll have something there, but then they immediately lose it if you know how to argue against it. Oh, well, actually, they learned it from karate, and then they turned it into, then another martial art incorporated it. That is how martial arts work! That is how they work! You take good stuff from other martial arts, and you incorporate it into your stuff. You have any idea how much wrestling uses Kimura grips? You have any idea how much, how many different types of wrestling there is? Like, you have Mongolian, you have European, you have folk style, you have freestyle, you have Greco-Roman wrestling. All of those came together and became modern wrestling. Karate just got left behind because they were getting the bag. Old school karate was just MMA. Okay, it was. Old school karate was MMA. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Chuck Norris, hello? But guess what? Guess what? That is not modern karate. Modern karate is a watered down cesspool, little like child martial art. I'm a black belt in karate. Oh, cool. Come over here. Let's test that real quick. Oh, black belt in karate basically means nothing. Okay, it means basically nothing. If you have a gold star, like there is some stuff, like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in the UFC is a great karate guy. But his dad comes from old school karate. Old school karate was a different level. New school karate is, I'm sorry, it's better than nothing, I guess. But if you want to learn how to strike, go to boxing. If you want to learn how to kick, go to kickboxing or Muay Thai. If you want to know how to clinch, go to judo. If you want to know how to grapple, you go to jiu-jitsu. There is anything that karate does, there is another martial art that does it 1,000 times better than them. It's that simple. Meh. If you say you train karate, I say, meh. Cool, bro. Anyone else? Honestly, bro. Kung Fu. Ooh, okay. Now, more venom. This is where I get my ranting in. There is no bigger fraud in the history of martial arts than Kung Fu. Do you know what bothers me? Okay? Kung Fu in martial arts is so intertwined into the culture of China that they refuse to believe that they are outrageously mid at fighting. Okay? And then it's like, oh, well, no, Kung Fu is still superior. Name one Chinese UFC champion. Name one. Name one kickboxing Chinese champion. Name one. No. Every single one of your prospects get no-diffed by the most average of American wrestlers. Absolutely nothing. Because you guys have refused to evolve. Refused to do what every other martial art has ever done. And that is take from another one, get better and better. That is what every other martial art ever does. Kung Fu? No, I'm going to go train on my Wing Chun wooden bouncing bag. All right, little bro. Dog's a 1, 2, 3. I remember watching this video, okay? And I know that sounds like, oh, that's anecdotal. There was a traditionally trained Kung Fu martial artist, okay? Fighting a Chinese MMA fighter. And the Chinese MMA fighter put the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s on this Kung Fu trained martial artist. And they booed the MMA fighter because he made traditional Chinese martial arts look bad. Okay, I'll say it because I'm not in that culture. Kung Fu is useless. It is weak. I train Kung Fu. Do you do anything else? Anything else? And then they'll be like, oh, what about this? What about this? Every other martial art does what you do, but better. It's better than you. Boxing has better punches than you. Kickboxing has better kicks than you. Jiu-jitsu has better grappling than you. Judo has better throws than you. You were outdone by everybody and refused to admit it. China, as a martial arts landscape, is so outrageously mid. And then they'll be like, oh, what about wrestling? Do you know where you got your wrestling from? You got that from the Mongols. The Mongols came into your country, decimated you for decades, killed so many, like Chinese people. that they were literally stacking up mountains of bodies that they thought were actual mountains. And then, because cultures bleed together when you start going through conquest, you guys got wrestling from the Mongols. And the Mongols actually had really good wrestling back in the day. Like that back in the day. And you guys just adopted it. Yes, a lot of the good Chinese wrestling culturally comes from the Mongols. And you got that because you got your ass beat. Real talk, Kung Fu's overrated. Honest, borderline weak. Borderline weak. You guys can throw a punch. Cool. Name me one Kung Fu UFC champion. Oh, no, they don't believe in fighting. Oh, but you got, okay. Kung Fu is just a slightly better marketed version of Steven Seagal. Real talk, no respect. You guys could have been so much better. You guys were good at one time, refused to evolve, and got your ass beat, okay? Real talk, that's what happened. Mongolian wrestling cleared you, no competition, weak. Sumo wrestling. Yes, sumo wrestling is going to be on here, because I want to rant about something good. Sumo wrestling is one of the most misunderstood martial arts of all time. It's actually pretty practical. You can be a small sumo wrestler. Granted, it favors people with higher mass, but they do use, like, legitimate techniques that are used in judo, that are used in some types of wrestling, like pushing your opponent off their center line and using that to throw them. That is legit. Yeah, the diaper, pretty weird. I'll admit that. That's pretty weird, but it works. Kind of. I'm gonna put. I really don't have a lot to rant about judo, honestly. The kung fu and the karate rant took a lot out of me. I'm gonna put sumo bottom of cool. Honestly, if you say you do sumo, I unironically have more respect for you than if you train karate or kung fu, and definitely aikido, no question. Judo. Well, okay. Let me tell you something. Judo has an interesting history because judo started out as the official martial art of the samurai. Because actually, samurai, when they were off their... Okay, first off, samurai weren't known as like these crazy swordsmen, not for a while. Most of the time, they were actually just crazy horse archers. Yes, the most broken build in the entirety of history, okay? When we're looking at the amount of time that it was broken, it was the cavalry. The cavalry was broken for just about the entirety of history. Why? Imagine being a horse archer. If you were a mounted archer that could consistently hit your shots, you were the most broken unit on the battlefield. Look at the Mongol Empire. The Mongol Empire perfected mounted archery. And the samurai had a very good version of that. They did not beat the Mongols, technically. I know that was like said on Joe Rogan a while back. They didn't. You have the Tsushima Island, but the majority of the Mongol forces were wiped out by a tsunami. So, yeah. And it was called... Yeah. The tsunamis killed more Mongols than the actual samurai did. So, real talk. But they did understand judo. Judo is basically the art of throwing somebody so hard that they get hurt by the fucking earth. That is essentially what judo is. If you train judo, you're cool. You're cool. You're cool. Honestly, yeah. I'd put you in cool. Should I move somebody up? I don't know. Nah, I'm gonna keep it here. We got one more. Krav Maga. Krav Maga started out as the traditional Israeli defense martial art. Basically, like, the Marines have a martial art, the Army has a martial art, every major, Sambo. Sambo was the martial art for the Soviet Union military. That's why there's a lot of these Dagestani guys, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev, all of those guys, like, big in MMA right now. That is why they train Sambo, okay? But it's just wrestling and judo having a love child with a little bit of MMA mixed in. When we look at Krav Maga, let me tell you something. If you think it's hard to describe jiu-jitsu as something that's not sus, let me explain to you Krav Maga. You try punching me, I'm going to grab you by the goots, okay? I'm going to put 2 fingers in your goots area, and I'm going to start squeezing them tenders, okay? Ha! Ha! Like, bro, that is Krav Maga. I'm sorry, bro. I understand that it's too brutal for MMA. I'm sorry, you're grabbing people's balls and you're squeezing it, okay? This is like wrestling trying to explain to you what the 4th grip is. No, my bad, the 5th grip. Let me go through the different grips. Grips on the hands, grips on the back of the neck, grips on the feet. And then you go through all there, and you're like, what's the last grip? I'm going to put 3 fingers. I'm going to grab your butthole, okay? It's called getting your oil checked. And I'm going to pull that up. And let me tell you something. If you want a man to loosen a grip on your leg, 3 fingers right in there. They loosen it up real quick. I just put you all onto some forbidden knowledge, bro. Forbidden dragon warrior techniques, okay? Yeah, that's the original Woosie finger hold, okay? I got a different hold. Skadoos. That's gonna be bad out of context. Krav Maga basically has that, but that's anything goes, okay? Like, this is like the Wolverine of martial arts. Yeah, they don't really give a shit. Now, this would be my argument. Yeah, you're gonna beat up most people. The moment somebody understands what you're doing, they're just gonna keep you at distance and they're gonna chop your fucking legs, okay? And then when you really can't do anything, they're gonna go on top and start landing elbows on your forehead and just slice you open like Fruit Ninja. I'm gonna put you in dangerous because, yeah, I gotta put you in dangerous. I think this is a valid... this might be one of my most valid tier lists I've ever made, honestly. And there you go. That is the martial arts aura tier list, okay? You guys have been asking for a martial arts video. I don't know how this is gonna do. I can't really see myself making a part 2 to this because I covered too many of them. But who knows? Get this to 1,500 likes and then we can have a talk. I got lots of videos planned for this week, next week, Christmas, New Year's. We got a lot planned. We got stuff planned for the New Year's. We're on track for 100,000 subscribers, but that's only possible if you guys continue to support. So please consider like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. And if you have a video suggested, put it in the comment section down below, and I'll check it out. And with all that out of the way, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Adios.